Qualify first our training today. This is intended for online teaching, but yeah, the principle can be applied if you want to teach reading in class or in a regular setup. And this is for freelance teachers, or if you are going to be preparing your own materials. Why? Because if you will be working, for example, there's a school that you are connected with, or that the school provides you with the material, definitely you just have to follow the materials given to you, either the PowerPoint or the book. But in many cases, even if you are given a book, they will not tell you also how you're gonna teach it. So you have to know when it comes to reading, what it's like to deliver a communicative reading. Okay, so when you say communicative, this is a principle in language teaching, also a method wherein we highlight the use of the language more than focusing on grammar and vocabulary. And also making use of this reading material uh, in their real life experience. So how do we do that? So I will share later. I will also show some books from young learners, from kids to teens and adults, and how I go about preparing reading materials from these books. I will just show a portion of the unit. And by the end of this training, those who joined, I will share. Well, this is not my material. I also got it somewhere online. Someone shared it. They put it in a Google Drive, the list of available books that you can download. Even so they collected some books from 5-1 Talk and ACADSOC, and some EDB materials, I think, for class in. So if you are interested with that, I will share that later, okay, to those who joined in our training today. So let's first talk about some key terms. What do you know about intensive versus extensive reading? Can someone probably, if you want to talk, you may open your mic, or if you want to chat, you can just chat your answer. What do you know about intensive reading and extensive reading? What's the difference? Anyone? Intensive versus extensive. Okay, nobody, I think you're shy to share. So when we say intensive reading, it is reading with a purpose. And extensive is reading for fun or for pleasure. So in our teaching, most of the time we do intensive reading because there's an intention, right? There is a purpose why we introduce a text to our students, because we want them to answer a question, for example. However, we have to also try to develop that habit and love for reading. So we do reading, extensive reading. Normally, we just assign this to our students. Like my Korean student now, he's 15 years old. I normally give him, because he likes reading science material, so I gave him a National Geographic ESL book for him to read. It's about science. So every Tuesday, that's our first day meeting of the week. We study Monday, Thursday, and Friday. So he is going to share to me the story that he read over the weekend. So that is helping him develop extensive reading. Now, honestly, honestly and personally, I don't like reading. I I seldom read, but as a teacher, I promote reading because I believe that reading, it's like they say, hitting many birds with one stone. You can talk about vocabulary, you can talk about grammar, you can talk about life using reading material. Jennifer answered intensive reading emphasizes accuracy, while extensive reading emphasizes fluency and pleasure. Yes, that's correct. So these are the things we have to know about reading. Maybe if you are teaching in the Philippines, I don't know if you remember, we have some literary pieces, right? We read English materials. If I don't know if I remember it right, or Filipino, I think Florante at Laura or Ibong Adarna. So these are the reading materials we have in our school. However, I don't know if how I wish if we apply ESL style, we should have connected these reading materials to real life application of students, right? Most of the time, what teachers would do is ask us to do role plays after reading a certain chapter or a certain part of the book or the story. Kadalasan, nagro-role play lang. Kaya madaming nagiging artista sa Philippines. Bihira lang yung kaya tayo, I think, well, this is based on research, right? We are, I think, nasa bottom two tayo when it comes to reading or English and other subjects. Imagine that. Because iba rin yung um, reading and taking tests using reading. So anyway, I will talk about that one later. Reading in general and test taking reading. Next, which do you do, silent reading or reading aloud in your classes? Anong pagkakaiba? Well, of course, from the name itself, silent reading and reading aloud. But what is the essence of silent reading and reading aloud? And which do we do in our classes? Can you please select which one do you think? Are you more into silent reading or reading aloud in your classes? Anong kadalasan yung ginagawa? I'm probably speaking Taglish now because I think we're all Filipinos here, unlike last time. We had someone from other countries. Okay. Emilia and Arlene answered silent. Well, yes. Reading technically is a silent activity. Why? Because the goal of reading is comprehension. Okay? Reading is for comprehension. If you ask your students to read aloud, students will have other concerns while reading. Am I reading too fast? Am I reading too slow? Is my pronunciation correct? So, naapektuhan yung kanyang comprehension. However, bakit ginagawa natin yung reading aloud? Kasi, tinatanong ko yung mga teachers sa English, why do you ask students to read aloud? To check daw pronunciation. To check daw if they can really read. But actually, hindi siya tamang reason because if we just talk about reading alone, it should be for comprehension. Now, yung mga pronunciation and reading itself can be done either prior to reading. So mga pre-reading siya na activities dapat. No? And if your student is beginner level, zero level, and teaching online, kadalasan nangyayari reading aloud. Bakit? Para may magawa yung estudyante. Walang dead air online, no? However, ang sinasuggest nila, it should be listen and repeat style. Meaning, the teacher will first model and the student will follow. Unless the student is already adult and probably pre-intermediate, you can ask your student to do quick reading first. Because reading, there is what we call while reading activity, and that will promote accuracy and controlled activities. So, dapat silent. But actually, from time to time, I do reading aloud with my student na Korean. Pero ang ginagawa ko is listen and repeat muna. Kapag yung adult na estudyante ko, yung mama niya, I just give her quick, like, I'll give you 2 minutes, read quickly and answer one question. Yung ganun lang ba? Read quickly and answer one question. Read again and answer these two questions. Dapat within yung kaya niyang gawin within the time period. Kasi ang ginagawa minsan, especially if it's an in-class teaching, binibigyan ng, okay, magbasa kayo ng ganitong page and ganitong oras. Ang kadalasan nangyayari, walang nagbabasa technically. Kaya kapag tinawag na ni teacher na, okay, let's answer, walang makasagot kasi walang nagbasa ng tama, no? Or hindi ginawa yung activity. It has to be while reading activity ang ginagawa. Yes. So, yung iba, yes, you read first and then now, ito naman depende sa style mo, no? May mga strategies na yung iba, like kung mga bata or beginner level, I read one sentence and then I ask the question right away, no? So, kunyari, so where did he go in the story? Then the answer must come from that sentence. Kasi kapag tinapos mo yung story and then saka ka pa magtatanong, the student will not be able to remember the information, no? Tatagal at hahaba lang yung oras. And you only have 25 minutes. So, kailangan mo siyang itanong along the way. So, anyway, yeah. So, silent reading. Now, reading lesson using the WPPPW framework. Just like last time, I also introduced this one. Depende sa school ninyo kung ano yung style. May iba na gumagamit ng ESA ni Jeremy Harmer, Engage, Study, Activate. Meron din gumagamit nito, PPP, or yung bago na WPPPW. Yung mga nasa DepEd yata, or sa mga regular schools, meron akong isang estudyante na nasa DepEd dati. Ang sinabi niya, yung kanila daw is, ano ba yan? I do, we do, you do. Parang ganun daw yung format, no? So I do, meaning the teacher will present. We do, the teacher and the students will do the activity, parang practice, and then you do, you allow students to apply what he or she has learned in the lesson. But the same concept ang pinipresent nito. So, looking at the WPPW framework, your opening routine, yung opening routine, kapag online ha, and then 25 minutes lang, yung opening routine will be the checking of the computer, tama ba yung audio or yung camera, are they working? That's opening routine. Greetings, hi, hello, and then how's the weather? Yung warm up should be related to the lesson. Now, since maikli lang yung 25-minute na teaching, ang ginagawa sa warm-up ay previewing and predicting na lang. So, kunyari, meron kang picture sa story, ipipresent mo siya sa warm-up. Magtatanong ka ng mga konting questions. For example, kung pambata yan, normally we say, how many children do you see in the picture? Where are they, for example? So previewing and predicting. However, kung mahaba yung oras mo, like it's an in-class teaching na meron kang 1 hour and 30 minutes or meron kang 50-minute class, so pwede kang gumawa ng warm-up na activity. So maybe magpa-games ka ng mga picture puzzle, word search, or charade, no? Something na will allow students to think and begin to speak right from the beginning. Okay, it will set the tone. Okay, that warm up should set the tone. Okay, so importante yung warm up. Meron akong isang estudyante ngayon, he's American, he's already teaching, and he told me he doesn't do warm up daw. Diretso siya sa lesson. The problem there is, sabi kasi nila, a lesson without warm up is like hammering a cold iron. Walang mangyayari. You will not be able to mold and form anything out of it. So you have to really do a warm up. And the importance of warm up is that it can make or break your lesson. Okay? So, yes, kailangan mag-isip. And kadalasan, walang nagwa-warm up kasi yung libro, hindi naman yung ibang libro, hindi nakadirekta yung warm-up na sinasabi. Kailangan mo siyang isipin at gawin. No? Again, going back to what I mentioned last time, bring the book to life. No? Dalhin mo ang libro at gawin mo siyang experiential on the part of the students. Now, after warm-up, you have your context setting. Context setting, again, is eliciting from your students what they think is the lesson for that day. So normally, we connect context setting sa warm-up mo. So just ask, kunyari, sa warm-up, nagpakita ka ng picture na may mga bata sa school, sa playground, and then tatanungin mo, what is our lesson today? Then maybe maisip nila, we'll talk about school objects or school things. Okay. Well and good. Then you accept. Kung hindi naman nila makuha, then you have to volunteer. The idea here is you give your students first the chance to guess para ma-apply yung mga critical thinking ba, hindi yung in-spoon feed niyo yung estudyante. Ang pampahaba na rin yan ng oras. Kasi 25 minutes din yan. No? Mga 1-2 minutes din kakainin ng context setting. Then, after context setting, your main lesson, following the PPP model. So, the first one is presentation. So, sa presentation, kung nagawa mo na yung previewing sa warm-up, then hindi ka na mapi-previewing sa presentation. Okay? Pero kung meron kang ibang activity sa warm-up, sa presentation, pwede mo siyang gawin yung previewing. Pwede mong sabihin sa estudyante, look at the title, look at the picture, para magkaroon siya ng idea about what he is going to read. Just like listening, reading and listening, they are receptive skills. So, input skills, kailangan mong i-prepare yung estudyante, i-prepare yung isip niya, i-prepare yung kanyang sarili, kung ano dapat ang kailangan niyang gawin para maintindihan niya yung babasahin niya later. So, bibigyan mo siya ng idea, hindi yung parang you will just overwhelm the student with information. No? So, kaya if you're teaching and you're helping students read because he or she is preparing for an exam, ganun ang ginagawa, di ba? Yung ibang estudyante na, ang tawag doon, parang nagme-mental block because when they look at the text, ang haba, tapos wala na. Yung brain nila nag-shut down na. Natakot na sila. They're scared. So, kailangan mong gawin itong steps na to para yung utak nila, makalma nila yung sarili nila na hindi sila dapat ma-overwhelm. Kasi nga, merong process ng pag-present ng reading. So, sa presentation, always may pre-teaching of vocabulary. Ma-reading man yan, ma-listening kasi receptive siya. So, pre-teaching of vocabulary. Now, ang question, lahat ba ng difficult words kailangang i-present? Hindi. Only words that will be useful, helpful, that will be part of the activities later sa practice and sa production. Kasi kung lahat ng difficult words isasama mo, hahaba at ma-overwhelm yung estudyante. Okay? Wala namang gamit. Pandagdag burden lang sa estudyante yan. Another question, sino bang mag-identify? Kasi yung iba, at ito, guilty rin ako kasi practice ko so dati, no, when I was a new teacher, wala pa akong training, bago lang akong graduate. 21 years ago, ito yung mga practice ko. I would just ask my Korean student, kasi sa Cebu, one-to-one, no, harap kayo. I would just ask, okay, here's our reading passage or our story today. First, look at the text and identify the difficult words. So siya yung mag-identify. Hindi dapat ganun. No? Si teacher dapat ang mag-identify ng mga difficult words kasi si teacher yung nakakaalam ano ba yung mga difficult words na kasali sa activities later. So, usually they say it should be less than 10. Kasi for vocabulary, for words to be remembered by your brain, kailangan niyang ma-encounter yan within the lesson period at least 7 times. So kung meron kang present na vocabulary na 20 or 15, hindi yan sasapat or sobra yan sa 25-minute na time na binigay. Okay? So around 7, yeah, that's a good number. So pre-teach vocabulary. And again, going back to our lesson last time, when you cover vocabulary, when there is vocabulary, always consider 3 things. Meaning, huwag kalimutan, i-introduce yung meaning, i-elicit and i-practice yung meaning, use CCQ, concept check question. Then you have your meaning form, maybe the spelling of the word. Yeah. And then yung use, meaning form and use. Ano ba siya? Noun ba siya? Vocabulary ba siya? Formal word ba yan? Meron ba siya? Is it a gender neutral word? Mga ganun, no? So yun yung tatlong pagdadaanan niya. So sa tatlong part na yan, kung 7 times mo siyang dapat ma-introduce, by presenting the vocab, 1. By doing the meaning, 2. By doing the form, 3. By doing the usage or use, 4. May 4 ka na, 3 na lang. So, ganun siya. Pero hindi siya dapat, yung mabagal, mabilisan dapat. Usually, mga 2 minutes lang or less yung mga activities na ganito. So, after presentation, then you are going to present now the reading part. So, part pa rin ng presentation. So, ano ba yung unang gagawin? First reading is to read very quickly for gist. No? Parang makuha lang niya yung overview ng kanyang binasa. So, usually, we ask one question na para sa kabuuang pagbabasa niya. So, very quick, mga 2 minutes reading and then answer one question. Dapat yung sagot ng tanong hindi nakikita sa first part pa lang, no? Kasi kung nakita niya sa first part, hindi na yan magbabasa all throughout the page. So kailangan nasa gitna or nasa last part yung tanong. Gist. So panglima na yan, no, na encounter ng vocabulary. Then after another reading, so sa libro kadalasan ang ginagawa is reading for specific information. May mga tanong about who, what, where, when, di ba? So that kind of question is specific information question. Now, question, pwede bang pagbaliktarin yung reading for gist at saka reading for specific information? Hindi. May purpose yan, no? Kasi yung reading for gist is to get the overview of the story. Again, para hindi siya ma-overwhelm. At by the time na he will go to reading for specific information, the student already knows where to find these information kasi na-scan na niya. No? Or hindi siya, na-skim na niya yung information na yun. No? Alam na niya kung saang paragraph niya hanapin. Ganun dapat yung idea. So, gist or skimming, specific information for scanning. Okay? Are we still following? No? Nasa presentation pa tayo. Then for practice, controlled activities. Ibig sabihin ng controlled activities, walang variation sa mga answers. Predetermined na yung mga answers. It's either A, B, C. It's either one word, short answer. Walang additional language demand on the part of the student to answer this question. Kasi nga for accuracy siya. No? Yung iba sa libro, mostly they will ask a vocabulary question here. No? Kasi yung sa presentation, yung mga tanong dyan is about the story. So yung practice, kung ano yung target vocab mo, so pwedeng dito mo itanong or mga grammar questions. No? Then for production, we call it freer practice. Dito na-apply yung personalization. So dapat the student will be able to use some or all of what he has learned from the presentation and practice stages dito sa production. So example, yung lesson ko about, are you familiar with Jack and the Beanstalk? No? So it's a story taken from a Macmillan book na, if I'm not mistaken, English World yata siya. English World, Macmillan, elementary, for elementary kids. Tapos, yung story is about Jack and the Beanstalk. According to Macmillan's description there, yung story na yan ay traditional story. May mga label kasi yung ibang mga libro, very friendly sa teacher kasi naglalagay sila ng mga detalye sa baba, no? Or sa footnote, no? Naglalagay sila ng mga information. So, ang nakalagay doon is, it's a traditional story. So, pagdating sa production, ano bang gamit ng story na yun sa buhay ng estudyante? Kunyari, meron siyang makikilalang bagong friend na dayo sa city nila or a foreign friend na dayo sa country nila, hindi naman sila mag-uusap about Jack and the Beanstalk, di ba? Kasi wala namang pakialam yung visitor at siya din about Jack and the Beanstalk. So, ang relationship nung production o kung ipa-personalize natin siya, dapat ma-apply ni estudyante yung binasa niyang story sa totoong buhay. So, ang ginawa ko, I asked my students then, it's a group class student, no? So I asked them, think of a similar story. No? It's a traditional story. Kung maybe sa atin, kwentong, ano ba yun? Kwentong bayan or kwentong mga myths siguro. No? Then they have to think of that and meron din kaming tinatawag na differentiation. No? So yung mga mahilig sa arts, pinagawa ko ng poster. Yung mahilig yung mga very active, pinagawa ko ng role play. Yung iba, they just created a short parang description of the story. They just have to write what is this all about, sino mga characters ng story, and ano yung basihan ng story. Ganun lang, mga isang paragraph lang. Yun yung application ng differentiation sa production. Kasi nga, mayroon din, if you will be teaching mga regular schools, may mga tinatawag silang differentiation or differentiated instructions na naaayon siya sa learning style and multiple intelligences ng mga estudyante. So, yun yung application and production. So, kunyari, yung estudyante kong Koreano, uh, when we apply production and personalization, hindi siya mahilig sa mga ganong storya, no? So, I just related it to science kasi yung favorite talaga niya is science. So, kailangan ko maghanap. Yun din yung challenge. Kailangan mo maghanap ng connection nung binasa sa interest ng estudyante para they are willing to share and talk. Otherwise, wala. They will just say, no idea, teacher. No, teacher. Thank you. Parang thank you and bye na lang. No? So, yun yung production or application. Then, you have your wrap up. So, wrap up is just ang style is parang Q&A lang, no? Did we read today? Of course, it would say yes. What's the title of the story that we read today? Did we study vocabulary. Can you give me two or three words that you remember? No? So yun, Q&A lang. And then your closing routine. Maybe if you want to give homework or you want to give reward, then you can do it here in closing routine. So this is how we use WPPW framework in teaching reading. So kapag online, dapat mabilisan lang, no? Mga 2 questions, 3 questions. Sa practice, mga usually one activity lang yan. Production, of course, one activity lang din. Now, sa lesson objective, by the way, itong production, ito yung this represents your main objective. And then yung enabling objectives mo, nasa presentation and practice makikita. So, going back to my example of Jack and the Beanstalk, ang main objective kasi nun is by the end of the lesson, students will be better able to share, if I'm mistaken, share to the class a traditional story in their city or country um, using differentiated activities, ganun, no? And also using the vocabulary in the lesson. Parang ganun siya. So, dito siya sa production mangyayari. Okay. Question first before I proceed. Because my next activity or the next part, I will be presenting and sharing the books I mentioned earlier. The reading materials where you can find reading materials. Yeah. Textbooks, sorry. Questions before I proceed? Nakuha niyo ba yung framework na na-present? Okay. So, let's look at, thank you, Glenish. Quite unique name. So, let me stop sharing. Oh, why did I stop sharing? Let me share again. Now, so let me first show, this is, now why do I, by the way, I always, you will always hear me saying mga books, books, books. May ibang mga teachers na they would say, books will make your lesson boring. May mga ganun, no? Or it will limit your creativity kasi nakadepende ka sa libro. Well, ang sagot ko dyan, again, is dapat you should be in control of the book. Sabi ko nga, bring the book to life. Hindi dapat ikaw yung nakatali sa libro. You should know how to manipulate the book because you are the teacher. The book is just your visual aid, your guide, a reference for your lesson. Ikaw pa rin yung may control. So kapag ginagamit ko siya in teaching online, hindi ko pine-present yung PDF. So, nagka-copy-paste lang ko ng mga parts at nilalagay ko sa PowerPoint or Google Slides. Para kung ano man yung parts na hindi kailangan, I can remove or I can supplement or adapt some parts. Let me first show, this is Academy Stars, yeah, Macmillan book. I think level 3. So this is A2, if I'm not mistaken. So the level is A2, elementary level. Sa CFR, hope you're familiar with the CFR level, Common European Framework of Reference. So this is the second unit. I will begin with the second unit, not the first one. Kasi yung first unit, always the same, about student, about sa kanyang maybe family or self. So unit 2 is At Home Together. This is the unit title. You have here lesson 1, vocabulary. Next. Wait lang. Oops, sumobra. So next page, lesson 2, reading. I will show first the whole unit, no? Then next, lesson 3. Part pa rin siya ng unit 2. Meron siyang reading comprehension, may grammar, lesson 4. Lesson 5, language and use. Lesson 6, listening and speaking. Lesson 7, writing, and then review. So if you use this in actual in-class teaching, normally we just cover, depende sa oras, kung mahaba yung oras, then we will cover from page 22 until 26, no? Reading comprehension. Pero kung online ito, I will just first teach vocabulary, first meeting. Then sa second meeting namin, saka na yung reading. Kasi mahaba yung reading. Now, in reading, again, you need to remember that the reason why we use reading is to develop or enhance their skills, no? Yung mga skimming, scanning, answering questions. Kasi yun yung gagawin ng estudyante when he or she takes a reading test. So dapat ma klaro sa inyo yun. Hindi lang basta-basta reading ng reading ng walang purpose. Otherwise, walang progress sa skill ng estudyante. So if we look at reading page, so you have the first one here. It says, read the sentences, circle the correct answer. A blog is in a book, is on a website, is on the television. Then you have look at the photos and the titles, answer the questions. Who is the blog about? What do they write about? Then number 3, scan the text, underline the chores, and circle the free time activities. And then meron din siyang ito, listening, read the text. How is your family similar to this family? Then it's a blog about Garcia family. And then meron siyang 3 sections, no? Our family, our new home, our favorite day. Then meron siyang vocabulary dito na basement, serial, etc. Then learning to learn. How do you learn to spell new words? This is helping students become like autonomous learning, no? To guide them, help them learn better. Then you have reading comprehension, about the story. Yes. And then who does what? Activities pa rin na related to story. And then you have here next, tick the best reason the Garcia family are happy. Then you have sounds and spelling, then grammar. So definitely I will not do sounds and grammar, sounds and spelling and grammar. I will just focus on page 24, 25, and then until
Order lang eh.
3, activity 3. Okay? So, when you look at this part of the book, again, going back to the framework, you need to identify what will be your warm-up. No? So, since 25 minutes lang naman yan, very short yung time, ang gagawin ko dyan, maybe I will either copy-paste this picture, no? Or kukuha ko ng picture online about family. No? And then, I will ask students, kasi elementary level ito, so I will just ask, can you count how many people are there in the picture? And then, I will say, who's this? Who's this? Then they should be able to identify maybe mom, dad, and then daughter and son, for example. And they are family. Then context setting. What is our lesson today? Then they would say, family. Okay, very good. It's about family. So, okay na yung warm-up mo, okay na yung context setting mo. Then sa presentation, either you begin by previewing again, no? Pwede kang mag-preview because you will now present this story. Then you'd say, okay, look at this. What can you see from this picture? Is it a book or is it from a computer? Then they should say computer because there's home, post, etc. No? So nagawa mo na yung first part na to. No? This is basically parang previewing. No? And then Probably you want to ask, what's this? Building. Do you think there are people living here or working? Mga ganun lang, previewing. How about, what's this? Cycling or yeah, riding a bike, whatever they want to say. So yun yung unang part. Then, yun yung previewing, predicting, then pre-teaching of vocabulary. So you might want to do this one. So since elementary level siya, listen and repeat. So basement, serial lift. So meaning, form, and use, no? Very quickly. Maybe meron kang picture, match pictures and labels. And then read aloud by the student alone for pronunciation. If you want to do phonics, if you want, then so be it. It's up to you. Depende na sa'yo yun. So, pre-teaching. Then, ito yung problema kapag PDF ang na-present mo kasi yung questions wala dito sa text. So, kailangan mo siyang i-copy-paste and dapat makita ng estudyante yung binabasa niya at yung questions kasi dapat while reading activity. So, sa reading na part, yung gist reading, yung reading very quickly, ito, who is the blog about? So, dalawa, no? So, maybe, kasi masyadong mahaba, hindi kaya sa isang, well, kung ganito, kalaki yung PowerPoint mo, so that's fine. So, you ask your student, read first the question, who is the blog about, and what do they write about? So, clarify mo muna kung naintindihan mo yung tanong. Then after that, you'd say, I'll give you 2 minutes. Quickly go over the blog silently and then answer the question. Only that. That's your just reading. Then another reading should be ito na. No? So dapat meron siyang reading for specific information. So which floor do the Garcia family live on? So, mga specific short answers na to. So, dapat yung text at saka yung question, nakikita niya lahat, no? Hindi yung, kasi mahirap mag-memorize ng story. Unless medyo malaki na yung estudyante, kaya na niyang uh, mag-retain ng information. So, yun, yung reading mo, specific information and just reading questions. Then, maybe for your controlled practice, another activity like this one, um, identify kung sino yung gumagawa ng mga activities. Okay? Tapos, so, ang kulang na lang is yung production or application. So, I will get that here, the last activity number 4. Read the text. I will not ask to read the text again. I will just say, okay, how is your family similar to this family? Can you talk about where you live? Can you talk about how many are you in the family and the activities that you do as a family? So nagiging uh, personalized na yung application, no? So dito, yung estudyante, post-reading na kasi siya, will now talk about his family. Kasi yun yung application ng story, no? So the story is just a springboard para may idea siya when it comes to talking about family, dapat i-mention mo kung mga family members, saan kayo nakatira, anong klaseng bahay, apartment ba, bungalow type ba, or what, and then mga activities. So yun, cover na yun ng 25 minutes. Dapat mabilisan. No? Kung mahina yung estudyante, well, supposedly, kung tama yung leveling, no, yung placement ng estudyante, kung tama lang, dapat kaya niya to within 25 minutes. Otherwise, maybe you downgrade yung level ng estudyante kung masyadong mahirap ito para sa kanya. Okay? So this is for kids, no? Raz Kids, I'm not sure about that book, Glenish. Haven't heard of the name Raz Kids. Mostly yung mga ginagamit ko is yung mga Cambridge, Macmillan, or Pearson. I don't know who's the publisher of Raz Kids, but yeah, not heard of that. So how about sa teens? Let me share the book no sa teens. Ito naman is Prepare, Cambridge Prepare book. Let me just check ano bang level nito. So 3, this is pre-intermediate. No? So meron siyang unit title, The Natural World, The World is Changing. Meron siyang vocabulary and reading na label. May grammar dito, may pronunciation, listening, wild animals naman sa next na part. Wait lang. Another reading na naman. Then culture, the USA. So medyo kakaiba yung kanyang setup, no, kaysa sa mga pangbatang libro. Kasi nga ito for teenagers na siya. So ganun pa din if we follow the WPPW framework, so maybe kasi nga online tapos konti lang yung oras, I will have a separate picture of a volcano erupting. I think this one is tornado, and then I'm not sure, this is drought if I'm not mistaken. Then I will present the three pictures as my warm up, and then I will ask my student if he knows what this picture is, and he should say volcano, what happened. So would say, because it's pre-intermediate, he should already know na some basic ng maybe volcano erupted like that or exploded. Maybe they will use a different word, but it has the same concept. So yun yung warm up. Very short lang na 3 minutes, maybe up to 5 minutes. Then after that, context setting. What do you think is our lesson today? Then it would say about Earth. Yes. About so Earth, natural world. They're fine. No? You can just accept that. Yes, they're about Earth, the natural world. Then after that, presentation na. So sa presentation, meron kang first here, sabi niya, which of these things can you see in the pictures? Name one or more examples of each. So meron siyang vocabulary and then i-connect niya dito. So maybe I will not do this one yet. Kung nagawa ko na to as my previewing in warm-up, then my next activity in the presentation will be listen and repeat for vocabulary. So they will first follow follow me first. No? Desert, forest, hill, island, lake, yung ganun. And then after that, maybe I will match first because meaning again, no? Meaning, form, and use. So I will match, I will find pictures related to these words, and then I will have some spelling activities related to these words. I will also ask, are these words action words? Are they names? Then they should be able to identify that these are nouns. And then after that, I will answer this one. So they're going to, because this one is parang reading for gist, no? Then i-connect niya dito. Then next, discuss these questions with your partner. So kung walang partner kasi one-on-one lang naman yung online, then siya na, no? So kailangan siyang talagang ilagay sa PowerPoint para hindi niya mabasa yung discuss these questions with your partner kasi walang ang partner. Malito yung estudyante. So dapat maiba yung instruction. So read and answer these questions na lang. How old is the Earth? What changes are happening on Earth at the moment? Ito pala yung gist question. No? So part pa rin ito ng vocabulary. So gist question itong dalawa, and then itong nasa 3, yes, yung 3, read the article again and choose the best heading and find words. So ito yung reading for specific information. So reading again very quickly, silently, and then answer. Then ang application nito, ano ba ang application nito? It's about the natural world. So maybe you ask your student, is there, in the place where you live, is there a mountain there, volcano, Yung mga ganong klaseng tanong. So yung estudyante kong Korean, meron silang, he lives near a famous river doon sa city nila. And then, tinanong ko anong significance nung river na yan. Meron pala silang festival na ginagawa taon-taon sa river. So yun yung importante na application ng topic, no? Hindi naman tayo we will not talk about volcano lang for the sake of talking about volcano, but kailangan niyang makonect sa kanyang sariling buhay. Okay. Next, this will be adult, and this is speak out. Level 2, so elementary ito na libro. Unit 2 pa rin, no? I always begin with Unit 2 kasi masyadong madali yung Unit 1. Yung Unit 2, lifestyle, iba naman yung setup ng libro na to. This is Pearson, I think, yeah. So yung speaking, meron siyang guide. Ano yung speaking? Sa listening, meron siyang guide. Reading, my guide. Writing, my guide. Now let's look at, hanapin natin saan ang reading. Okay, na automatic na nasa first part yung reading, no? Meron siyang reading, my grammar, my speaking, yung unit, yung buong unit naka-divide ng 4 na parts yata. So unit 1, unit 2.1, join us. 2.2, high flyers, my vocab, listening, grammar. 2.3, what time does it start? My vocab, function, my konting reading, but hindi siya main lesson dyan. Then 2.4 is para siyang real world application. They will watch a video and connect this whole unit. A visit to Panama. I use this book sa mga adult students ko. Now, since ang reading is nasa first part, the same pa rin, no? Following the WPPPW framework, kailangan mong hanapin yung magkaroon ng warm-up. So, ano ba tong lesson na to? Activities pala siya, no? This talks about activities kasi yung unit title niya or theme, lifestyle. So yung reading, read about local groups, yes, and activities. So maybe what I will do is I will crop this picture, watching a movie in the cinema, cafe, and then ito, exercise, no? Or maybe ito rin, no? Photography. So itong 4 pictures, I will, that will be my warm-up. So we will talk about these, identify what are these. Yun lang. Very quick questions. Then, you have your reading here, my vocabulary here. So definitely, we will begin with pre-teaching of vocabulary. So I will do this activity first as my vocabulary presentation. So dapat, again, meaning, form, and use ng vocabulary. Saka pa mag-reading. So sa reading, again, identify alin dito yung reading for gist, reading for specific information, at dapat while reading siya. So minsan, ang mahirap dito kasi nga very small yung mga text, tapos kailangan yung questions and yung text nasa isang page lang, no? Yung pag-design nung kapag online, yun yung mahirap. So probably you will do this one kasi it says work in pairs and discuss what's a good way to meet people in a new city. And then read the information from a website about meeting people in Dublin. So maybe I will not ask this first question. This one is a good question pang application o pang end. I will instead use this question below. So maybe for my gist question, I would say, how many activities mentioned in the story? So they will have to say 3. Merong group meeting at the cinema, sa isang English group, and then isang parang outdoor activity group, no? Yun yung gist question. Then, meron siyang specific information question dito. So ito yung gagawin nila. Then for my production or application, ito yun. I will ask myself, what is a good way to meet people in your city? and then which group, kung member siya ng group, yung estudyante kong Korean na mom, so tinanong ko siya kung member ba siya ng group sa kanila, yung kanilang neighborhood, may mga ganun, di ba? May mga organizations yan. So, para ma-apply niya yung lesson. That's it. So, I have shared and have shown na kahit online, short time, hindi kailangan putulin yung framework kasi yun yung importante ng framework, di ba? Kailangan siyang sundin. Otherwise, para kang nagluto na may ingredients at may recipe at cooking steps pero hindi mo sinunod. Ang kalabasan niyan, probably it will not taste as good as if you follow the recipe. So you don't compromise the pattern or the framework. Questions? So that is basically teaching reading, no? Using reading materials. Now, I've seen many reading lessons also, no? May mga sa Kadsok, may mga nasa 5-1 Talk and other online platforms and companies. Also kanila yun, no? It's their style. What I'm presenting is this is following the WPPW framework and communicative approach in teaching reading. Question or clarification? Ganito din ba yung ginagawa ninyo in teaching reading? So bakit ito yung style or bakit ganito yung pagkagawa? Kasi when you follow this format, you are always assured na yung estudyante ay exposed and trained and na-practice niya yung skimming skills, scanning skills, predicting skills na very important sub-skills in reading. Ba? Yung mga estudyante kong Koreano at Japanese, sabi nila, kahit they say, teacher, even if I can't speak good English, I can find the right answer in reading. Because alam nila yung strategy na ganito. And how I wish ganito yung pagtuturo natin sa Philippines ng reading sa mga schools. Hindi siya masyadong teacher-centered and purposeful yung reading. No? May intention. It is to read and to answer tests. Sa mga teachers dito, is this how you teach reading? Or do you teach reading ba? Ako, I'm very biased sa reading, no? Kapag gumagawa ako ng lesson sa mga estudyante ko, online, sa mga online students ko, yung reading ang ginagamit kong parang main lesson. Kasi nga, meron na siyang pronunciation, may vocabulary na siya, meron siyang springboard for conversation. So, hindi ka na mahirapan. Clarification, questions. Yes, correct. That's a good observation, no? So dapat from teacher-centered classroom to learner-centered classroom. And maraming ibig sabihin ng learner-centered classroom. Well, kapag gumagawa ng activities, also si teacher marami ring roles na piniperform, no? Within here sa Vietnam, for example, and I think when you are teaching in other countries, parang wala kang chance umupo. Kaya hindi yung question mo, Glenish, parang dapat walang ganun, no? So, walang chance na umupo kasi yung mga estudyante mo, pagbigay mo pa lang ng activity, Yung iba, sabi mo page 10, nasa page 12 na, hindi pa nahanap yung page 10. So kailangan mo puntahan, tingnan kung nasa page 10 ba, kung tama ba yung librong kinuha. Ganun sila, kahit mga teenagers na, kahit mga grade 6 or grade 5, kailangan mo i-assist. So, and then while students are reading, the teachers probably must be observing, moving around, um, quietly assisting students. Meron din kasing active and passive support na ginagawa si teacher kapag in-class teaching. Pag online, yun lang. We facilitate. Read very quickly in 2 minutes. Read again in 3 minutes and answer. Ganon. So dapat, bakit binibigyan ng time frame? Para si estudyante, matuto siyang magbasa within the given time. Kasi in the test, when they take reading test, example IELTS, no? IELTS, you are given 1 hour, 60 minutes, and there are 40 questions. So, which means you have a little over 1 minute to answer one question. Walang chance magbasa ng story and indulge yourself sa storya na binabasa. Ang technique dyan is, yun na, read the question and look for the answer. And ganun dapat ang ginagawa ng estudyante. Hindi siya nagbabasa to enjoy but to read and find the answers. Kaya ganun yung style, no? Skimming, scanning, pinafacilitate lang. So yung mga estudyanteng, mayroon akong ibang estudyante na pag reading na umiiyak. Kasi natatakot na sila kasi nga ang daming text daw, ang daming hindi nila alam yung mga difficult words. So I would tell them, you don't have to worry. When we open the book, we don't just read right away. First, we will look at the pictures, we will look at the title, we will look at, we have some activities to play games with the vocabulary, saka pa magbasa, no? Kaya hindi siya na-overwhelm agad. May mga ganong estudyante, no? Hindi nila kayang i-handle yung kanilang emotion before reading. Kahit matatanda na, may mga ganun akong estudyante. Pag open pa lang ng libro, yung sa Cebu dati na one-to-one teaching. No? Pag open pa lang ng libro, teacher, I hate this book. And then umiiyak na. Kasi ang haba nung babasahin. Sabi ko, hindi naman siya babasahin lahat. No? We just have to look at the title. So, kailangan mo i-facilitate. Now, ito yung mali ng kadalasan ng mga estudyante. Ayaw nilang mag-aral ng reading with a teacher. Bakit? They feel and they think reading is a passive activity na they can do it by themselves, which is wrong. Dapat reading should be with the teacher para meron kang ka-interact, para magiging communicative yung reading. Para magiging interactive yung reading. Kasi baka mali yung pagkaintindi mo, so sinong magko-correct? So it should be with the teacher. So kaya kailangan din tulungan yung estudyante na maiba yung kanyang mindset sa when it comes to reading. Kadalasan yung mga estudyante online, ang hinihingi, can we just have free talk, teacher? Can we just practice speaking, teacher? Tapos nag-speaking ka, wala namang masabi. Walang idea. And then we go back to listening and reading kasi receptive skills siya. So kailangan niya munang mag-input, no? Kasi nga, speaking and writing, they are output skills. So, bigyan mo muna ng input bago mag-output. Yung ibang estudyante lang, iba yung kanilang. So, kailangan nila ng guidance from the teacher. Have you used mind map in reading? Yes, pwede rin siyang gawin, no? Especially kung maraming mga information yung babasahin nila. At kung nakita mo yung mga estudyante, medyo may mga group, depende sa estudyante, no? May mga estudyante na kalat mag-isip. So, kailangan mo silang i-guide. So, i-visualize muna nila kung ano yung dapat nilang basahin. So, kunyari, about the family, yung kanina na-present ko. So, maybe you have a mind map, family in the middle, and then a branch here about their home, their activities, and the family. So, yun, gagawa ka ng mind map para ma-visualize kung estudyante mo visual learner. No? Kaya naman, yung mga libro, mind map or word web, yung kadalasan ginagawa. May mga activities sa libro na naka-word web na siya. No? That's part of pre-teaching vocabulary or mga pre-reading activities. Yung mind mapping, word webbing, yun. Or categorizing vocab. Yung about sa Earth, yung sa teens kanina, yung may categorizing activity doon na alin dito yung mga activities na related sa lupa, related sa tubig, at saka sa hangin, no? So, kailangan niyang i-categorize. No? So, yung volcano, of course, sa lupa siya. Mga ganun. Yeah, that's okay, Glenish. But again, for online, kasi kung 25 minutes, dapat mabilisan. And don't worry kung hindi, initially, kung bago mong i-apply yan, yung estudyante medyo mangangapa. No? It will take some time, probably 3 or 4 times bago niya makuha yung style na yan. Anything else? Question, clarification? Sino bang mga ESL teachers na dito? And are you teaching following your own material or following the school's material ba kayo? You can type your answer siguro if you want. Sa, for example, if you work abroad, no? May mga schools na libro lang ang bibigay sa iyo. Libro at saka pages. So ito yung tuturo mo today, the next day, ikaw na yung bahala, no? So, yung iba naman, in my case, I was lucky last semester. It's a public school. Ang tinuturuan ko, grade 6, 7, and 8. Pero naka-PowerPoint na. No? Sila nang gumawa. Ang gagawin ko na lang ay i-turn on yung computer at i-present yung PowerPoint na ginawa nila. So wala rin akong control and hold sa paano siya ginawa yung mga activities doon. Yun yung mahirap. No? So minsan kahit parang labag sa sa kalooban kong i-deliver yung ganong style pero wala. As a teacher, you are just a soldier. You just follow instructions. Pero kapag ikaw gagawa ng sarili mong lessons, well, ito dapat yung parang idea, no? Um, hindi ka dapat matakot, no? Vietnamese kids and adults. Okay. So schools materials, yeah. Yeah, may mga ganun. So dapat kapag ganyan na libro lang binibigay at ikaw pang gagawa ng lesson material or PowerPoint, huwag mong ibigay yung PowerPoint sa kanila. Kasi baka pag natapos yung libro sa kanila na yung materials. Or, dapat malaking bayad sa'yo kasi ikaw yung gumagawa ng material. I'm helping a Japanese school now and also Vietnamese school. So, I develop their curriculum and I also make their PowerPoint. So, yun. Ito rin yung mga style na ginagamit ko. Kasi nga ito pala, sa mga bago, no, dapat alam natin yung difference ng ESL at saka EFL. Kadalasan yung mga estudyante nyo na nasa Japan, nasa Korea, nasa Vietnam, nasa China, they are EFL students. They are learning English as a foreign language. So kadalasan yung target nila is to learn more vocabulary and grammar para ma-enhance yung language skills nila, no? Not so much with the parang free use of the language. So, kailangan muna nilang mahasa sa ganun, ang test taking. Kasi yung preparation nila is for that. Mag-take ng test, pumasa ng, kung kunyari, mga exam sa schools, no? Ma-enhance yung kanilang score sa schools. EFL yan. Kasi kung ESL yan, yung goal nila is parang, wala lang, for communication, maybe they want to travel to an English-speaking country later. Pero yung TESOL naman, yun yung parang hybrid, no? Both are integrated. So kaya sa training ng TESOL naman, merong mga EFL parts, no? Yung vocab, yung grammar discussion or activities related sa grammar and vocabulary. Then, after, meron siyang the communicative part na magamit siya freely ng estudyante. So, dapat alam mo rin kung paano siya i-approach. If you will be preparing your own material, depende, no? Kasi ako, yung sa Korean ko, I charge them 350 per hour. So, pero yung lesson namin is 25 minutes. Pero ang kwenta nun is 350 per hour. So, 25-minute yung lesson. Uh, Meron akong minimum kasi na requirement na 18 hours yung babayaran nila. So, I will prepare equivalent to 36 lessons, no? Of 25 minutes or equivalent to 18 hours in total lesson. So yun, I charge them 350 and then ganun yung ginagawa ko. I will collect. Ayoko yung nangongolekta after nung klase. So you have to pay me first and then I will teach you. Ito na yung mga lessons. No? And so far, that's my style for the longest time. And this student has been with me since he was 9 years old and now he's already 15. So siguro okay lang naman sa kanila. Pero kailangan mo yung pangatawanan na ganun talaga, no? So may mga naririnig akong horror stories online na yun, nagbayad na yung parent, yung mom or your dad, yung teacher absent ng absent. Although medyo guilty rin ako minsan ganyan. Pero dapat you fulfill your contract, no? Or yung ano ba yung napagkasundoan. So within yung 36 lessons kasi dapat makover within 3 months siya. Pero yan, Korean, Japanese, okay lang yung mga 350. Pero kung mga Vietnamese, minsan kuripot din yung iba. So, ang ginagawa ko, I will first do a trial, no? So, parang libre, trial, and then you decide if okay sa'yo, then kasi ako yung gumawa ng material. No? Ang hirap naman. Effort ko pa before and after the class. So, yung mga online na company-based, na nagbibigay na lang ng lesson, yun, medyo, have you noticed, mga barat, no? 60, 65, 70, 75. Buti na lang kung may 80 pesos per lesson. So, well, technically, yung mga online teaching should be just a supplement, no, to your income. Kung may mga gusto mong maging main source of income mo, kailangan mong maybe gawing private lesson, private mag-private teacher ka sa mga estudyante mo. Meron kang sariling estudyante para hawak mo yung oras at the whole fee na ibabayad ng estudyante sa'yo. Any other questions? 80. So that's 160 per hour. At saka iba pa rin kapag academic, no? Academic, kunyari academic lessons or may mga estudyante kasi na they will ask for mga IELTS preparation, ano ba, speaking test preparation. So, kapag ganyan, academic or exam preparation style of teaching, kasi kailangan mo ring mag-aral niyan. So, kailangan mong humingi ng extra fee. Anything else? you want to ask? I hope I was able to share a bit about teaching reading, how you make reading communicative, okay? And as you have noticed probably, hindi siya yung typical na read and answer lang, no? Dapat may communication para ma-practice ni estudyante yung language niya and integrated yung skills din, no? My speaking, my listening, my vocab, my grammar.